spider's web, and as you can see we're about to do a painting. This is going to be on a black, shall we say, canvas, for want of a better word. So it's going to be a nice nighttime shot. I've never done a painting on a black canvas before. Is it going to be interesting? Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a 16 by 12 canvas. It's not actually a canvas, it's a board. It's a board that's suitable for oils or acrylics. We are using today the Artisan range from Winsor & Newton. It's a water soluble oil, which means that unlike normal oils you don't have to use linseed oil or anything to clean or thin the paints down. You can just use water. Okay, so let's get cracking, shall we? So just get our little bit of water on our. So we're going to be starting off with an orange colour. Now this is going to be orange. It's going to be the sky, this part, and we're going to find that we're going brighter and brighter with this. We're not just going to be sticking with orange, we're going to have yellows in this as well. We'll also be mixing a little bit of orange in with like a yellow ochre to make the darker areas as we go to the edge of the palette, but edge of the canvas rather. To start off with, we just want something to act as a barrier between the black and the yellow, because if we use yellow straight on black, surprisingly enough it will turn green. So let's just have a quick you can see I'm using circular movements here, with it being oil rather than acrylic. It's going to take much longer to dry, so I have some time to spend to play about with this. We're also going to be blending in a little bit later, so it may look a little bit strange to start off with, but as I say, we're going to be blending in. At the moment I'm just using a cheap, nasty round brush, as you can see. Nothing special about that one. I'll come over to the close-up camera to see that properly. There we are. And we'll add a little bit of yellow ochre into this mix as well to dull it down considerably. And a spot of black. Just to change the colour to a more muted one for the edges of this. So we don't want it to be too bright. And as you can see, and I'm going to be, as I say, I'm going to be coming back to this and blending it, and I will be using a kind of paintbrush that you'd use for painting a door. This is a 1.5 inch brush. I'm just going to go straight across, very lightly, very lightly. Now we're just taking the orange into the darker colour. There we are. You can, if you wish, use your finger for this. You can apply it incredibly thickly. I don't want to do it too thick because I want this to sort of like disappear into the background to a point anyway. I'm just now using circular motions just to, let's say, blend just that little bit more into it. I'm going to add a little bit of paint into this just for the middle museum because it still seems a little bit dull. I want it much brighter. Yeah. And I'm just going to swirl it around again, just a little bit more. Even with the orange paint we've used, it's not done too much to the paint, or to the, it's not brightened up all that much. Just want to add a little orange now to brighten up. Well, this one is I think it's cadmium yellow rather, and this one will brighten up the middle areas somewhat. As you can see. And so you can use your fingers if you wish, just make little circular motions or side motions, but I find that even after doing that you'll still get some finger marks. On your painting, which it doesn't look very nice, so I don't tend to do it all that much. It's still building up the colour in the sky. That's in essence what we want to do. We want to make this centre part a lot brighter. There we go. And we'll just move in. Now the way I've done the black canvas, by the way, just in case you're interested, you can use, if you wish, a black gesso. I just use black acrylic paint. Made sure it was perfectly dry before I started, and from then on just had a go at it with the paint once it's dry. I'm just going to add now the brighter areas for the sky. And that's looking quite bright. It is what we wanted. We didn't put, as I say, if we didn't put that black or that orange in first, that yellow we just put on would have just appeared green. And I'm just going to add a little more of the, in fact I think I'm going to change colour, to be honest. That yellow ochre doesn't seem to be doing too much for it. So I'm going to change to burnt umber. That hopefully will do a better job of what we want to do around the edges. So just in case you're wondering, that's the tube. I hope you can see that properly there. That's the paint I just put down, the burnt umber, but if you're interested in following on with any of these using this kind of using this kind of paint then. It's the artisan paints from Windsor and Newton you're looking at getting. Okay, so I'm just going to make it a little bit more browny orange towards the edges, because at the moment it's looking a little bit greeny and it's not the kind of colour we're looking for in this guy. But here we are. In fact, this is a brush I've not used before, so we're getting a lot of bristles coming off. That's only to be expected, to be honest. In a new brush I always get problems with stray bristles. Here we are, so just and a bit of tissue, just scrape, wipe off the excess paint. There's no need to go into cleaning it at all. Just get the excess off. I'll use a little bit of water to help with the removal. So I just realised I will be going over the brighter colours, so I will need to have a fairly clean brush for this. But now I want to make the brush as dry as possible. And the added advantage of actually using this kind of oil to normal oil, again, you don't have to use thinners, you don't have to use any form of linseed oil or any special cleaners, anything that's smelly. So it's much better for you. When I say it's much better for you, I mean you're not stinking the place out when you're just trying to paint a picture. You're actually painting a picture. Now what I'm going to do as well now is just go straight again into the yellow and try and build up this part. But what we want to try and just make sure that this is as bright an area as we can possibly get it, because this is where we're going to find the sun. It's either going to be a sunrise or a sunset. And with it being a very thin with it being a very thick paint, so it's not sticking terribly well over the top. So I'll just use a little bit of water, thin it down a touch, and come back. And again, just use small circular motions just to build up. And then once I've done that, it's I think we can call that sky. Done. Now what we want to do is add some background trees and bushes and shrubs in there. So again, what I'm doing is just clearing off the brush and then straight into the lamp black, a little bit of the brown as well, and again using the 1.5 inch brush and stabbing. I'll show you what I'm doing exactly. The paint, as you can see there, I'm just stabbing, breaking up all the bristles That's what I want. The bristles to be broken up, and then the look of it, just dabbing them on. Don't be too uniform as well with how they go on. We don't want them all lined up like a regiment of soldiers. We want it to look natural. That will do. That will do fine. We don't want anything too solid there. We want it looking natural, as I said. Now, what I've forgotten to do, which I should have done right from the beginning, as I was doing the sky, I'm just going to wash the brush out thoroughly now. And that is, I want to do some water down at the bottom, but I need to bring the colour of the sky right down into the water, into the lower edge. So what we'll do for that is we'll take some of the dark brown and we'll move that and go straight down. I need to needs a bit more of the orange in that. It could be better, and moving down there as well. And then it's the slightly lighter colour which we'll be using. So it's just straight down movements. Oops. As you can see, you can go a little bit and now we need, oops, now I've been using a lot of dark colours here, and my water pot is now full of black water. And then finally, out the middle. Wanting some of that really deep, really bright yellow colour. We haven't quite got enough of that yet. Well, that's fine, and now clear off. I'll wipe off the excess yellow, and then I want to go right across, backwards and forwards, to give that look of water. And I hope you can see that beginning to, water effect there beginning to develop. Now, I'm just going to change brushes now because I want to do, in fact I'm not going to change brushes at all. Power of the finger into the white. I'm just rubbing, okay, I'm just rubbing the white on the palette just to get most of the white off, and then I'm going to just run it along there. And what that will do is, by going over sometimes you can get it so that it works just perfectly the first time you do it. Other times not quite so well. But what I want to do is now, as I said, I want to change my brush to a, I think my fan brush is in this thing here. Yes, I have a fan brush. I'm going to be using a mixture of black and the white to make a greyish colour and a touch of the brown. And what we're going to be doing here now is clouds. Add a touch of orange as well. And what we're going to be doing is just little shallow U shapes. I've got, let's see if I show you on this. How it's going to look is like this. Okay, I hope one camera's catching that. That's going to be the, just shallow, like you're doing a smiley face. That's the effect we're looking for, and it's just like so. And I'm going across, trying to keep it relatively shallow. A little bit more black and a little bit more of the brown in there because it's looking just a touch too what's the word I'm looking for there? I was looking a touch too pinkish. And that is the one that's going over the sun. I'm just going to move that one there, and then for a disguise that sun as though there's a bit of a heat haze going along with clouds in front. Slightly shaped unfortunately, but that's what happens occasionally when you're doing some of these. It doesn't quite go to plan. And we'll do some bigger clouds further up as they come closer to us. These are going to be highlighted in a moment, so you'll be able to see them a lot better. And we highlight them with just pure white. Okay, so there's a little bit of black still on the brush, so we can go with that. It's a very pale greyish colour. And on the top, on the clouds that you'd find on the below the sun, you would put the highlights along the top, and anything above the sun, the highlight would be obviously on the bottom where the sun or the light source is hitting. And you can take it back. Make it look a little bit bigger. Again, you're doing the little semicircular, little upside down, well, little upside down, very shallow U shapes, I suppose would be the best way of doing this, saying, calling it. Get a bit more white on my brush. I'm taking up colour from the clouds that's already there, which is something we don't really want to do. But we can't help it, so when we start feeling that way, we just wipe the brush off and reload. It's that simple. If I can do it, any idiot can. Okay, oh god, that's a little bit too bright. Let's face it, the actual and what we'll do as well is we'll come straight down directly below where the sun is. I tried to use my finger, it failed miserably, so I'm going to try now and use the brush and see if that will make it any better. Okay, so now we've done that line there, we want to again send it back into the water, make it look like it is actually parts of the water. And you do end up, when you're doing things like this, with paint all over your hands, like so. Don't be afraid, that will always happen. Now what we'll do is, well, in fact what I will do is I'll just pull up a shirt and sit down for a second, because I want to steady myself completely for this. And what we're doing is looking at doing little horizontal strokes with the white. There we go. Now with a palette knife, we'll just try and cut into the canvas using the palette knife, using horizontal strokes. It's just to give that water a little bit of movement. Now, next what we want to do is come in and just sink the clouds back into that sky, like so. I hope that looks okay to you on the other side of the camera. It's looking okay for me here. Now what I want to do is get myself some fresh towel. Oh, fresh paper towel, and clean off my brush completely, because I don't think we'll be using this anytime soon. Okay, so maybe wrong, we may use it later, I don't know. Now what we want is a flat brush, and we want the flat brush because we're going to do some land. Okay, so the land is going to be jutting out here and here. Now when you're doing a scene like this, if you're having two bits of land, one coming from that way, one coming from that way, taking your eye into the painting, you do not want them on the same level. Okay, so you do not want to see the picture cut in half by the two pieces of land. So we'll do one on this side a little bit higher, and oops, I'm just going to blend that a little bit. That looks better. Right, so what was I saying? Yeah, so you don't want the painting cut in half by the two pieces of land. So one side will be higher than the other. And the side that's higher will be smaller. The side that's lower will be bigger. Okay, so we're going to be using some of our brown and our black. I add a little bit of the yellow ochre in just to give it a little bit of colour. Okay, and we're going to be coming in a little bit high, and we're going to just be doing a triangular shape here. Like so. Yeah. You probably won't be able to see that properly. I know it's there, that's all that matters at the moment. It's just to give me the guideline of where I'm going to be working from and working up to. So that's one side, and as I say, this side is going to be a little bit further down and it's going to be bigger. So we're going to be try and make it as horizontal because you don't tend to find many sloping lakes. Like the old joke, I wanted to take up water skiing but I couldn't find a sloping lake. So it was an old joke, I didn't say it was a good one. Okay, so that's and now I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher as well, because as I say, I want it to look bigger. Okay, so that's blocked out what I want to block out. And next, what we're going to be concentrating on is what's going on this piece of land. Well, let's have a look. How about some bushes and some really nice big trees? Was that a yes? Fair enough. Don't mind if I do. Okay, so we're going with black, a little bit of the brown, and again I am stabbing at the colour to open the brushes, and the brush is really open this time, and we are going to be great big tree over that side, and a fairly big tree but not as big on this side. Okay, and that's all there is there. Before I carry on, I just want to go and change my water. Won't be a second. Now, what we're going to be doing now is a little bit of highlighting on this tree, and for that we're going to be adding white, to the black to make a grey, and we're just going to pick out a few areas like so. And the same over here. Oh yeah. Just where the sun is actually hitting. Go from the side that the sun is hitting, don't just put it anywhere. If you put it over here and not over this side, it's going to look stupid because the sun's here, the main point of light is coming from the, not quite the middle, and it's going outwards like so, if you get me drift. So, so there's no point in putting it where it won't hit, is there? Now, what I also want to do is add a little bit of branches. Okay, this is a very fine pointed brush, as you can see. And when you're using these kind of brushes, you want a lot of water on the brush. You want the paint very, very, very fluid. And with this we can just do some oops. It's not quite fluid enough. Now we're just going to do a few flicks. A bit more water, I think. Okay, I'll do the same over this side. At the moment it doesn't seem to be doing what I want it to do, which is quite common for when I'm trying to do something like this. But as I say, you want the paint really, really, really almost like ink. Now we can also go up and from the middle of the trees add some little branches coming out. If you're going to do anything like this, then obviously do as many as you would like to do. Don't just stop at a few. If you would like. Oops. Some branches actually going out. over the moon, you can do that, not a problem. Depends on where you've put your tree, obviously. If you put your tree over here, putting a branch going from there isn't going to work, but get my drift, I hope. And get a few coming over here as well. You want to make it so that it starts off where it's dark, so you can't actually see the end of the branch. There we go. Yeah, that's looking quite adequate. Now what I want to do is a little trick I've picked up when you're using brushes like this to keep the point after you've washed them, and it will retain a really nice point. If you let it dry out, it will splay out if you're not careful. Okay, so what I want to do now is add a little bit of highlight texture or highlight to this area. So for that I'm using the cadmium orange and what was the other orange I used? The dark one was cadmium orange, cadmium yellow I think it was. Yeah, using a bit of a cadmium orange, bit of a cadmium yellow, a bit of the oh dear, yellow ochre, and a spot of the burnt umber, just to make it a soil looking colour. I'm just going to go, oops, just like that. It's not going to be too there we go, hope you can see that. And same again on this side. I'm using like a narrow, rather shallow, unhappy face, N shape for this. Rather shallow N, as opposed to where we did the clouds where it was a shallow U. We're doing a shallow N for this area to show the lay of the land. I just need to add a little more onto that side. There we are. And we also want to add shadow area to or reflection in the water from the bit of land that we have there. So how we do that is quite simple. We would just take some black, a little bit of the brown, well, quite a bit more brown than the black. I'll throw in a little bit of white to make it just a little bit grey, and then downwards strokes. And so we're just trying to match the shape of the land which I've done pretty badly because I just realised where I've put some stuff and there's absolutely nothing above it, but never mind. There we are. And again, a bit more of the brown, spot of the black, a little bit of the white, and we do the same again over here. And no matter what, we need to have that reflection. Now we'll get our big brush back and we'll make it sink back into the water how it should be. And we do that by simply straight across, being horizontal again, straight across, there we are, and coming in from that side, and this time I'm going to show you how to do the ripple effects on the water with the palette knife. Near enough exactly the same as doing it on the or with the fan brush. There's a brush bristle there and a bristle there. Easy enough. Every time I see a bristle I try to. I'm not bothered about the bottom because we're going to be doing something else on the bottom of the paper, or on the bottom of the board. That's the joy of this hobby, you can get messy. Okay, so what I've done is here at the top I've taken some white and I've spread it out quite thinly. So now I clean off my palette knife. Don't want any paint at all on my palette knife at the moment, and then what I will do is that bit of paint I flattened out there, I'm going to move up, go, not done at all what I wanted to do. Oh dear. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just cut across and you end up with a roll of paint on your knife. And what you're going to do with this is quite simply just move it backwards and forwards. And start at the top and just, when I say start at the top, I mean just start a little bit above where the paint, the white paint starts, and then a little bit more green paper. I'm not actually working, I may have noticed. I'm not very organised. Okay, so we'll just cut across again, and we'll do the same on this side. Again, using a very small amount of paint, and basically wanting to try and scrape it into two of the thing, and then we'll come again with the brush and we'll blend it all in. Just to make it look watery. There we are. Next, as I said, we're going to be doing some land at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just get some black and brown mixed all together, and I'm just going to go straight across the bottom here. Not going to be any big rough bushes on this, but we are going to have something there. You can see. And just a little bit of the white on the edges, just to make it look as though the sun is actually hitting, and then we'll just get some little bit more on the brush. Add another brush there, and get our little detail brush. I'll add a few little twigs and things coming up. And that is almost it. All that remains is really to sign it, and also to say that if you've enjoyed watching this painting that you've just seen me do is the prize for my 500 subscriber draw, or 500 subscriber competition. What I would like is, seeing as I don't have a title for it, I would like you, if you'd like this video, if you can think of a title for this painting, put a message with the title beneath the video in the comments, and it'll be in the new year now when it's actually drawn, because with this being oils it will take some time to dry, and I don't want to be going too far with it. Well, not too far with it. I don't want to be pushing it what do you call it? I don't want to be sending it off too early when it still could be a little bit damp. So I'm going to wait until what day is it now? The 11th, 12th, 15th of December. I'm going to wait until the 5th of July, and then I'm going to have a look at all the messages we've got with possible titles on it, and I will be getting somebody else to pick this. I'll actually ask somebody at the radio station where I volunteer if they would choose the title. I'll get all the titles together and take them in, ask them to draw it for us, and there we are. This is the prize for my 500 subscribers. If, as I say, you want to win it, give me your ideas for a title for this painting. That's all. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm just going to do a few finishing touches of grasses and things in the foreground here. And once I've done that, I will actually let it dry before I even attempt to sign it. The simple reason being is sometimes when you sign it and it's wet, you lose the signature. But there we are. So that is my painting. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you like it. Something I do want, I've just noticed now that I really should do, while the paint is there, is just go along underneath these grassy areas, add just a little bit of dark there, because it looks as though they were floating in mid-air. And because of the way I'm actually stood doing this, I didn't actually see that at the beginning. So just a little bit of dark, just to give. But as I say, there we are. There's the painting. As I say, I hope you enjoyed it. But for me, I would like to say thank you all for subscribing. Over 500 subscribers. I'm chuffed to bits. Thank you very much. After 2 years, well, after my first year, I wasn't expecting more 4 or 5 subscribers, and I got over 100 then. But 500 in 2 years. Very, very pleased. Very, very overwhelmed at the fact that so many people actually want to watch my videos. But as I say, as a thank you for subscribing, one of my paintings is on offer. So leave your comments with a name, and on the 5th of January I will be asking somebody to pick the best name for this painting, and I will contact whoever it is who's won, and they can send me off your, then you can send me off your address so I can mail it off to you. Okay, so until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.